Hey everyone, I'm Joe and today I'm talking about what I read in October 2015, or in other words, my reading wrap up. October was a really good month. I read 12 books in total, which is a really good number, and I read a really wide range of books as well in 4 different genres, I believe. My wrap ups will change very slightly from now on, as I'm doing a series of videos called Showcases each month, which will focus on certain books that really stand out amongst the previous books. I will only very lightly touch on those books, but I'll say what they are in each wrap up. Anyway, let's talk about the books now. The first of which is Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. This is a science fiction novel of which I really enjoyed. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It had some interesting ideas, and I'm not going to talk about it too much because it will be featured in a showcase video in a week or two's time. The second book that I read was Misery by Stephen King. This is part of my spooky reads that I'm doing, same as I did last year. I really didn't enjoy this book really. This is actually probably my least favourite Stephen King I've ever read to date. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I already had some ideas on what it was going to be about. It's a writer who has a car accident. A woman called Annie Wilkes rescues him, apparently, and she realises that a manuscript that he's got on him is actually the final book in a series of books that he's been writing, and she really doesn't like how the book ends, so she encourages him to rewrite it and change things. That's all I'm going to say. But the character of Paul Sheldon was done quite well, but frankly I thought Annie Wilkes was actually kind of terrible actually. I expected her to be better in some way, but she sort of became a kind of a cartoon figure to me, and it really wasn't that interesting though. It just became sort of say what, Annie's doing these things, and she's kind of a really bizarre and challenged character, but not one that you can identify with or even understand in any sense, and indeed you can't even believe what she's doing. Third book that I read was The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. This is a science fiction book with some brilliant ideas and some really interesting characters in them, the primary character being the most interesting of all. And I did a review of this only a few weeks ago, so I'm not going to talk really anything in depth now because there's not a lot of point of all. I'll just be repeating myself. But it's a really good book, and I read this as a buddy read with Rachel Calinardi, and I really enjoyed reading it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The fourth book that I read was Garbage Man by Joseph DeLacy. This is a horror book about a weird event at a landfill site that happens, and the premise of it sounded really interesting. I bought it about 3 years ago, based purely by the back of the book, and it really showed quite promising, but it doesn't quite live up to it. Parts of it are good, but parts of it are just plain weird and creepy in a way that I didn't like, frankly. And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, which is still a good mark, but it couldn't get better because of the odd creepiness though that didn't quite work for me, unfortunately. But it was still a good book though. The fifth book is Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Curry. This is the third book in the Expanse series, of which I am slowly making my way through, although I can't go much further because they've only currently got 5 of them out, and it's going to be a 9-book series, so it'll be a number of years before I can finish them. They are making a TV series on the Sci-Fi Channel starting in December, which is why I've wanted to get a few books into the series so I don't accidentally find out spoilers from the TV series that would wreck the book. I think I'm far enough in now that I'm happy that I don't need to be in a hurry to read any further books. I really like these books. They're science fiction books. They're just fast, fun, big, grand space opera books with large amount of characters, settings and action. The pace is relentless but just works incredibly well, and frankly I love these books really badly. I gave this, same as the previous 2, 5 out of 5 stars. The sixth book is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. This is a library edition, hence why it's so shiny. I rated this really highly on Goodreads. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It is a weird, creepy psychological horror where the characters cannot look outside of their homes, otherwise they might see something and they will commit suicide. I'm going to talk about this in a showcase video in a few weeks time, but suffice to say, it's a really good book and I really enjoyed it. The 7th book that I read was Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a science fiction book about a group of 3 characters who get thrown together by a giant wave on a beach. They have to race across a city to save themselves and the city from other things. The setting is Lagos, which is capital of Nigeria, and despite the score that I gave it, which is a mere 3 out of 5 stars, which is still good, I really did enjoy it, and I'll talk about this more in a showcase video in a few weeks time. The 8th book was Elric of Menelbone and Other Stories by Michael Moorcock. This is a classic fantasy story written in the 60s, I believe. I could be mistaken about that. It's around the 60s area. And it is about a character called Elric, who is a really weird main character by today's standards. He's got an awful lot of flaws. And I was hoping to like this because Michael Moorcock wrote a lot of books set in this world and the multiverse that this then created. Frankly though, I didn't actually enjoy it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and that is a fairly low 3 out of 5 stars as well. I thought the character of Elric actually to be not a very interesting one. He had a lot of promise of what he could have been, but frankly he never ever learns from what mistakes he makes, and he never develops at all in the books. He just seems to go through the same motions, doesn't learn, doesn't evolve, and it's just not a good character, I don't think, in any sense, which is unfortunate because I was hoping to like this, I really was. The 9th book that I read was Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. This is a psychological horror book, and it's one I'm not going to talk about too much now because I'm going to be doing a review of it in the next week or two as well. But I really enjoyed this book. I actually thought it was one of the best books I've read in a while. I got 5 out of 5 stars, and just the writing and the ideas in it were frankly amazing. Just an absolutely brilliant book that I would recommend to anybody, especially if you like other Ray Bradbury, like Fahrenheit 451. You may well like this. So far, Ray Bradbury hasn't put a foot wrong with me so far. The 10th book that I read was A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick. As you know, I'm a big fan of Philip K. Dick. I've got quite a few of his books behind me. And this is one, like several of his books, which has a drug theme. There's a new drug being sort of released into the world called Substance D, or Quick Death, as some people call it. And this drug has a extremely weird side effect and fatal side effect of separating the synapses between the left and right half of your brain, and this obviously causes death eventually. Before that though, it causes some really weird and freaky side effects. And it's about one guy who tries to go undercover to find out where this drug is coming from, and his journey into this drug world. Parts of it are sort of druggy type scenes with him talking to his friends that he's made within this community. And apparently this is actually part sort of autobiographical from Philip K. Dick in his younger life, when he indeed did live in a house with a few sort of debatable types of characters taking drugs. So I did enjoy this. It was weird as you could imagine, but then again it is Philip K. Dick. He writes extremely weird books with really freaky ideas, so that's not unusual. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The penultimate book I read was Wilt by Tom Sharpe. Last month I also read a Tom Sharpe book, and I was kind of half and half with this, whether this could actually compete with how funny the previous book was, because I found the previous book, Vintage Stuff, to be incredibly funny, and it hurt my ribs. I was laughing so hard. Thankfully, I'm happy to say, this had the same effect on me. I was absolutely killing myself a lot of things so bad I had to actually get a tissue and wipe my eyes, which were watering. My ribs felt like I was about to break, and this book is just so funny. I have not come across a book this funny in years, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. I've got 8 of them in total, so there's going to be 6 more months of Tom Sharpe books, which I'm really looking forward to, because these were frankly brilliant. And I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's quite a dark humour though, so just be aware of that, because if you don't like dark, slightly not particularly politically correct humour, you might not appreciate some of the things in this. The last book that I read was Christine by Stephen King. This is a well-known book by him, which I've heard about years previously. It's a horror book, of course, psychological horror, and it's about a boy who buys a car called Christine, and he becomes a bit overly attached to the car, and really weird things start happening, and everything goes mad basically. Unlike Misery, which I previously just read early in the month, which was my least favourite Stephen King book I ever read, this is now officially my favourite ever Stephen King book. I loved this book really badly. It was extremely well written. The ideas in it were really interesting. Some really interesting little nuances to the characters, and even the car Christine. And just the overall plot of it was not quite what you expected it to be. You think that you can predict it, and then you can't. I'm going to talk about this in a showcase video in a few weeks' time, so I'm not going to say anything more now, but it was brilliant. 5 out of 5 stars without doubt. So that's it for all of the books that I've read. If you've read any of them or would like to read any of them, then please let me know in the comments below, and we can have a conversation, which should always be really interesting. All my social media links can be found in the description box below, as always, along with the video links, which I haven't yet uploaded, but when I do, they'll be retroactively added as and when that happens. And with that said, that's it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.